Introducing Sade Dada, host Marriage at Kanya Ministry.
Sade Dada is the host of Marriage at Kana Ministries, a ministry dedicated to COSRT approved NCS certificate in online and telephone counseling. She offers individual or couples counseling in Rochester, Kent and online. She uses an integrative model of therapy, which means that she incorporates various modalities tailored to the individual needs of the client. She believes lives can be transformed, restored and renewed, and one way this can be achieved is through the process of counseling.
Welcome, Sade Dada.
Welcome to Marriage at Kana's Fearless Parenting Meeting. We are happy to have you here with us today. Get to know us.
Thank you so much again. That's a bit about Marriage at Canaan and myself, Shadi Dada, as the host of Marriage at Canaan. We would love to meet you as well. So if you can please put in the chat where you're joining us from or how you heard about the program. We would love to meet you. You've met us. This is Marriage at Canaan, and we would just love to meet you as well. So please, let's use the chat. Just let us know where you're joining us from this evening or how you heard about the program. Just a few minutes of getting to know one another before I bring in my precious speaker tonight. Oh, Stin, USA, thank you so much for joining us. Louis Sham, God bless you. Kent, thank you. Zimbabwe, wow. Nice to meet you. Karen, thank you for joining us. Thank you. Lovely. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, Pastor Lola, thank you for inviting. Thank you. Canada, Dagenham, God bless you. Thank you. It's so good to have you here. Milton Keynes, thank you so much for spending your evening with us. Fola from Kent, thank you. Away from home, Reverend Ayo, I see you, ma. SX, thank you. Thank you. Houston again, thank you, Darren, I see you. Bukola joining from Lagos. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you so much. Thank you. Lovely to spend this evening with you. I first heard about Coach Bisi Soji-Oyawoye. She spoke at an event that I attended 2024 it was. And I remember, leaving that session deeply moved, enlightened. And it wasn't for me, it wasn't just our knowledge, our warmth, our expertise stayed with me. It was the story she shared, her authenticity. She was really authentic, warmth, and her passion for raising emotionally intelligent children and strengthening families came through as she shared at that meeting. And I said to myself, oh, one day I would love to have her speak to Marriage at Canaan community, to hear her speak, to hear her share this wisdom with us. So today is a very special day for me. Auntie Bisi, thank you, because that desire has come to reality today. And I'm glad every one of us is here tonight to learn from her experience, her wisdom. And on a personal level, Coach Bisi is one of the most approachable, warm, and genuine person I've met. She carries herself with such grace and excellence, and she supported this event wholeheartedly, promoting it tirelessly on social media, encouraging parents to join, giving herself so generously. So truly, from my heart, thank you so much, Auntie. God bless you, ma. So thank you very much. I truly honor you and appreciate you. Tonight, you are not just going to hear from an accomplished transformational lead coach, and leadership strategist. We're going to hear a mother's heart. We're going to hear about her parenting journey, how it has shaped her, and her passion for emotional intelligence and lives that has been inspired and transformed by her, myself included, because I left that meeting changing some things in my parenting as well. So I know that every one of us here, we're going to leave here tonight encouraged, challenged, and equipped with practical wisdom that we can apply even immediately after this meeting. So I'm just going to play a short introductory video to introduce Auntie Bisi tonight. And after that, the next voice you will hear will be that of Coach Bisi Soji-Oyawoye.
Introducing Bisi Soji-Oyawoye. Bisi is a transformational lead coach. She worked in the oil and gas sector for 30 years. She recorded 3 firsts: the first integrated travel center coordinator, the first female aviation supervisor, Escrovos operations, and the first female logistics superintendent in Chevron Nigeria Mid-Africa Business Unit. She is a graduate of University of Ilorin, Kwara State, Nigeria. She holds a certification in supply chain management from W.P. Carey School of Business, Arizona State University, ASU. Her life story is from secretary to CEO. She's a sociologist by training. Bisi holds a certification in women and leadership from European Business University of Luxembourg. She equips leaders with the requisite lead tools to deliver results with excellence. LEAD is acronym for leadership, emotional intelligence, awareness and development, personal and professional. She serves as the lead consultant CEO of Bicausative Limited and founder of Clarity Design Hub, the art and science of increasing your personal and professional power. She's the executive director and DISC behavioral consultant on the Maxwell Leadership Certified team. She's a certified emotional intelligence specialist with Emotion City. She's a licensed neuroencoding specialist with Dr. Joseph McLeodon III, as well as a licensed brain health trainer with Dr. Daniel Amen. She is the creator of the Five Alive Signature Transformation Program, the FAST program, your GPS of life. She's the convener of the FAST Tribe, a network of high net worth individuals. She's the author of Vicissitudes, a 31-day devotional to guide you through the vicissitudes of life. She's a faculty member, Institute of Paralegal Studies, IOPS Nigeria. She's a senior ambassador, European Business University, EBU, and a life member and mentor of Women in Management, Business and Public Service, WIMBIS. She's an advisory board member of the Dorcas Cancer Foundation for Children and also a director for Lemon and Feathers, making senior living easier. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Bisi Soji-Oyawoye.
Thank you.
Welcome to tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you. So lovely to have you here, ma.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to be here, and I celebrate everybody on this call or in this room today. Shadi, God bless you for who you are, for what you do for humanity. God will reward you abundantly. I also want to acknowledge, I just saw my husband's comment. He's in the room. Mr. Oyawoye, thank you so much for the support. I see Dr. Diana Kinoli all the way from the US. I see Bukola. Thank you so much. I mean, I'm grateful to be here. So without much ado, let me just share my slide. And so again, once again, good evening, everybody, whatever the weather, wherever you are. Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're calling in from. I'm honored, totally honored to be here today and super grateful to be sharing this topic with you today. Not because I'm a perfect parent, not because of that, I'm not. Or because my children are perfect, they are not. Far from it, I'm just here to share a bit of my journey, the lessons I am learning, the wisdom I am gaining on my parenting journey. And notice that I said, I didn't say lessons I have learned or wisdom I have gained, because parenting is a lifelong journey with an 18-year curriculum, after which, if not properly done, The rest is damage control. So if we're not careful, what we don't spend preparing, we might spend repairing. My children are 33 and 31. I'm not sure how old your children are, but it doesn't matter the age that they are. It doesn't matter what stage in life that you are. But if you will, just type in the chat box, if I can even see it at all, the ages of your children, if you have any. Or I couldn't see the results of the poll, but I saw the questions that were raised. So, how old are your children? Okay, 20 and 16, 5 months old, fantastic. Right time for that 5 month old. 11 and 7, great. Oyinye, welcome. Thank you so much. It doesn't matter what age they are, but I just want to have an idea of the demographic in the room. Just rest assured that whatever the age, my prayer is that you will find something that meets you wherever you are and whatever the time and season of your life. Because like I said, parenting is a lifelong journey. Even when they are married, even when you are grandparents, you parent the parent and the grandparent. Now, one thing I'm sure of, fearless parenting is not about parenting without any fear. It is more about having less fear while you are parenting. Because you do the very best that you can as you trust the parent of all parents, God, G-O-D, the grand overall designer, who knows us, who knows them, and he gave them to us. He gave us custody of them. So what we do with them is what we're going to give account for. Now, fearless parenting for me is parenting with wisdom, leading with love, raising children with roots, wings, and emotional strength. Our children don't just need protection. They need preparation, regardless of the age that they are. My father used to say, you may think you are all grown up, but you will never grow up to me. Our ages can never meet. So the truth is that they are your children, whatever the age. Darian, I see you no children yet. Whenever they come, you are prepared. That's the great thing for you. My husband and I rode into parenting blindly. And we are just rolling with the punches. But we are learning as we grow along, and we are developing ourselves, and that's what personal development is all about. So I'm the founder of the 5 Alive framework. And what I do is I coach, I teach, I speak around this framework, because I believe these 5 key areas of life are the most important areas of life. And I liken them to a 5-bedroom home. If you don't go into every room every day, you will not be a complete human being. It's like being in a house and you don't enter a room. You know what happens. So my 5 Alive framework is what I teach around, what I coach around. And I'll be touching base with it tonight, just a little about it. Now, fearless or emotionally intelligent parenting is more than raising obedient children. It is raising whole children, grounded in faith, secure in family, healthy in fitness, which is physical, mental, and emotional well-being, wise in finance and responsibility, and positioned to flourish in life. Now, it doesn't mean that if you do everything you need to do, there won't still be some issues. In fact, I saw once on social media, somebody said, if your children haven't disgraced you yet in public, you are blessed. Luckily, mine haven't disgraced me in public yet. But I know exactly what that person was trying to say. That no matter how well you think you've done, there will still be something. But my confidence is, having done all, I stand. Whatever comes, I stand. Knowing that I did the best I need to do at the time I did it. So fearless parenting is parenting with intention, not intimidation. So it's raising children who can think, who can feel, who can communicate and stand strong. It's about balancing, or better still, because this life no balance. It's about harmonizing godliness, confidence, discipline, and emotional intelligence. It's about breaking unhealthy cycles without breaking our children. It's about leading without fear, control, guilt, or shame. Many of us are parenting from a place of pain, from a place of trauma, from a place of how we were raised. And it's having a negative effect on our children. And if you will agree with me, the children of the coming generation, they're totally different from the way we were raised. Their emotional resilience is totally different. So we need to be very mindful about how we're raising them. It's about choosing connection over correction. Because if you correct without connecting, you will crush them. And I always say that if you correct before you connect, you will collect. It's about listening beyond the behavior. Beyond the behavior, it's about creating safe conversations at home. It's about teaching the children how to express themselves and regulate their emotions. Because a child who cannot, or who is not allowed to express emotions, may eventually express them in public through attitude, silence, anger, or rebellion. But the truth is that children learn emotions from us first before they can learn words. They learn the emotions from us first. Now, I looked at the relationship between godliness and emotional intelligence. And for me, it looks like I have come to the conclusion that godliness is EQ and EQ is godliness. Because there are so many verses in the Bible. When I saw this one, I was shocked. He will not fight or shout or raise his voice in public. Really? In the Bible? He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh a city. Proverbs 18:32. Do you want to be a mighty warrior? It is better to be known as one who is patient and slow to anger. Parents need to be really slow to anger. Apart from being slow to anger in your other relationships. With your children, we have to be really slow to anger. Moderation is better than muscle, and self-control is better than political power. And then this one, I won't read the entire one. The one in red is what came to my attention. People brought anybody with an ailment, whether mental, emotional, or physical. Jesus healed them one and all. Emotional issues, Jesus knows about them and is ready to heal us tonight. But by their fruit, we shall know them. And what is this fruit? This is my own EQ verse of the Bible. Love, joy, peace, long-suffering, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Self-control is in red. Because I feel that if you have self-control, the others are easy. If you have self-control, you probably find it easy to love. Because you hold yourself from the things you should have said that you shouldn't say. Okay. Now, self-control is simply the ability to manage and regulate your thoughts, your emotions, and your behavior in the face of temptations and impulses. Impulses. And then it is the quality that allows you to stop yourself from doing those things that you want to do, but that might not be in your best interest. Parenting children takes a lot of self-control. And I know this from experience. I know this also from watching other people. And you know how it is when they say it is better to close your mouth and be thought a fool than to open it and remove all doubt. Sometimes we say stuff to our children that we regret if we are self-aware. Many people say stuff that they don't regret. Many people speak to those children and they don't know they have placed curses on them just by the words of their mouth. And I usually say sometimes we are the very weapon that is formed against us and our children by the words that we have spoken. because our words are powerful. We are co-creators with God. God created with words. We are created in his image. Therefore, the words that we speak are spirits and they are life. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. I just wanted to play this short video that talks about self-control. It's funny, but it's not funny. But it delivers the message in a few minutes.
Now, see what's happening here. I shook both of them at the same time with equal energy. But now, you see what is happening here. It actually erupted like a volcano and messed up everywhere. Now, the most painful part is that I can't recover my soda. Once it is spilled, that is the end of it. Now, sometimes when you are angry, please close your mouth, because you may end up unleashing certain words that you never intended completely, and it can worsen the situation. And sometimes you may apologize and say, I'm sorry, but some words are like venom. They can poison someone's heart against you permanently. Now look at this one here. It's looking like nothing happened completely because I never opened it. And sometimes when you're angry, it is advisable to keep calm and postpone your action. You may even need to leave the place for a while and come back later to handle the situation. You'll realize you'll handle it with a lot of sobriety, and you'll be in charge of your thinking and your words.
I hope you got the message in that video. And please, even though this session tonight is about fearless parenting, raising godly and emotionally intelligent children, please remember emotional intelligence is emotional intelligence, whether it's for children or for adults. In fact, the more I was preparing for this session, the more I knew that it wasn't about the children. It's about us. So this, whatever we take here tonight, is not just for the children. If you are human and you live on earth and you are in this world, you will come in contact with people. And people are the greatest source of conflict, including us. So we all need to be emotionally intelligent. Now, you will continue to suffer if you have an emotional knee-jerk reaction to everything that is said about you or done to you or that happens to you. And your true power is sitting back and observing the logic. True power is restraint, self-control. If words control you, that means everyone else can control you. So just breathe and allow things to pass. Stop handing over your power to outside people, conditions, and circumstances. You have the power over how you choose to respond to whatever life hands you. That's self-leadership. That's self-management. Now, when your children do stuff, you have the power. I find it very amusing when people say, he made me hit him, or she made me. No, nobody makes you do anything that you don't want to do. Self-control. So I am double certified in emotional intelligence, one with this lady called Onyekonsola Alabi. And the other one I will show you. And I love what she said about emotional intelligence. It's the oxygen of relationships. And that no matter how spiritual you are, I know we are very spiritual here. But no matter how spiritual you are, if you are emotionally flustered, it will disorient your spirituality. It will attack your core. And it will make you and other people suspicious of the God that you worship. We really need to mind our emotions. Now, I'm also certified with the EQ Project, Regina Bryan. And she says it is the practice of recognizing and understanding the emotions in yourself and other people, and using that awareness to bring out the best in yourself and those around you. So it pays to be an EQ parent so that you can bring out the best in yourself and in your children and in everybody else around you, whether at work or at home. We may all know the basic four pillars of EQ: self-awareness, social awareness, self-management, social skills. Self-awareness and social self-management are about us, ourselves. That's about being aware of who we are, being aware of our emotions, and then being able to regulate, to manage, so that we can gain self-mastery. And the other part is about the other people, social awareness and social skills. So it's recognizing who you are, whose you are, and what you will do in the situation. And regardless of the fact that I'm double certified, every day life throws me a curveball that makes me know that I am still in school for VQ. God has placed people around you so that you can know what areas you need to grow in. Now, we are all tattooed in the cradle by the beliefs of our tribe. So, like I said earlier, we parent from what we know and who we have become up until now. What has formed us are three factors. Heredity. We inherited some from our parents. Our environment, the people that grew up around us, uncles, Sunday school teachers, friends, cousins, and then role models. These three factors contribute to how we are wired today. And so we parent from our wiring. We parent from our background. We parent from our trauma. Many of us are carrying emotional baggage. Different kinds. But like we know, airlines will charge you for excess luggage. So depending on the weight of the baggage you're carrying around, it affects your responses to life. It affects the way you parent your children. Sometimes we take out stuff on our children that they have no business with. And they wonder, what did I do? What did I do? But we would have lashed out. We would have bled on those who didn't cut us. We have to find a way to deal while we lead. So our emotions are rooted in our childhood and in our adolescence. And our response to what happens to us is shaped by the way we were raised and those around us. So we need to pay attention to the patterns in our lives. They are the predictors of our future. They are the predictors of our future. We need to understand our patterns, understand our emotions, understand our behavior and the impact and influence on our behavior on the people around us, including our children. That's self-leadership. That is self-leadership. Knowing yourself is being honest about who you are today. How are you showing up today? How are you parenting? How do you affect other people, especially your children? So we need to recognize the pattern. We need to understand the pattern. And we need to create new patterns that we would like to see. This is why I say EQ is an attempt to restore us to factory settings, to the way God intended. I love this quote by Eric Fromm. It says, man's main task is to give birth to himself. Literally. But also, the greatest responsibility of a human being is to become who they were truly created to be, back to factory settings. So, for me, Fromm was not talking about just physical birth. He was talking about the inner birth, doing that inner work that all of us need to do, but most of us run away from. That process of developing our true self, our character, our purpose, our potential, and our humanity. In simple terms, we are born as biological people, but we must intentionally become that person that we are capable of being. We can only blame our parents for so long on how they raised us. We now have the responsibility to raise ourselves, which many people are not doing. That's why they malfunction in the society. Now, this quote connects deeply to personal growth, self-awareness, emotional intelligence. It's almost like saying, don't just exist, become. For example, we may be born with good parenting skills or leadership skills, but unless we intentionally develop those qualities, that version of ourselves remain undeveloped. So giving birth to yourself involves confronting those fears, healing and growing from the trauma, learning, unlearning, and relearning, and taking responsibility for your life, becoming aligned with your values and purpose. The real tragedy is not dying physically. The real tragedy is dying with the person you are meant to become, still trapped inside of you. So life has a body at birth, but character, purpose, wisdom, and significance must be developed. Becoming is the real assignment. Now, why do we need to raise godly and emotionally intelligent children? Again, similar to adults, EQ is EQ, it doesn't really matter. We need to help children understand their basic emotions. There are six basic emotions that the other emotions come out from. We need to help them understand their body signals and body clues. We need to help them understand common triggers and what to do. Help them understand their relationships and their friendships. Help them learn how to deal with bullies. Help their physical, mental, and emotional health. You will agree with me that this generation, almost everything that happens to them affects their mental health. And I'm wondering, is either we didn't understand mental health when we were growing up, or we were not given the opportunity to even know that we were going through such stuff. It helps them with their schoolwork and their teamwork, and it helps them learn tools that can help them handle their feelings, helps them with conflict resolution, and above all, helps them to choose peace and kindness above all else. It's as if peace and kindness is a rare commodity now. But that's what we need in this world that we live in. So the question really is not raising godly and emotionally intelligent children. The real question is, am I a godly and emotionally intelligent parent that I am looking to raise a godly and emotionally intelligent child? Because you can't give what you don't have. That's the reason this question is important. It takes us for our children to be and to become. So before we start looking for our children to be godly and emotionally intelligent, are we godly and emotionally intelligent? Before we lead others, we need to lead ourselves. Before we expect them to behave in a certain way, that's our children. Are we modeling the behavior for them to see and to know what is possible for them? I love what he says here, because no man can produce great things who is not thoroughly sincere in dealing with his own self first. That's self-leadership. What you are looking for, I think the Bible says, if you're looking for a friend, be a friend yourself. If you are looking for godly and emotionally intelligent children, be the godly and emotionally intelligent parent yourself. That's where the script flips. And until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it faith. I even say that until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it a spiritual attack, especially if you are from Nigeria or Africa. But the psychological rule says that when an inner situation is not made conscious, it happens outside as faith. It means that unresolved past patterns and hidden fears will dictate your automatic decisions until you actively become aware of them. That's why it is said that many of us are running on autopilot. We are running, our iOS, our operating system is on autopilot. We have been conditioned and we have patterns in our system that we are running. The question is, what script are you running in your life? That is why it is good to feast on scripture. Script. That is the script that you should be running on. But many of us are running on cultural scripts, on traditional scripts, on ancestral scripts. In fact, some of us are being mentored by dead people, grandparents that have died, but we are still running their scripts. So it's the essence of what it means to live a life of awareness and authenticity. How do we apply this? Acknowledge your suppressed flaws and unexamined biases. Notice recurrent negative cycles or patterns in your life or in your relationships and trace them back to their roots. And then stop blaming bad luck and take responsibility for identifying why you react automatically to certain triggers. I am aware that many of us react instead of respond to our children. We react rather than respond to our children. Now, this is about, I came up with 7 qualities of an emotionally intelligent parent. And if you know me, I love acronyms because it just makes learning easier, more fun for me, and it makes us to remember it. So, these qualities, I will form an acronym afterwards. Self-awareness, that's recognizing your own emotions, your triggers, your strengths, and your blind spots. And then responding intentionally rather than reacting impulsively. If you remember the Chris Rock and Will Smith saga, Will Smith reacted instead of responded, even though he had enough time in between to think through his process. If you don't think through your process, you will apologize more than you should. If you don't pause, apply the almighty pause, which is one of the tools of EQ, to think, and you talk or you act, you will apologize more than you should. Self-regulated, that's what they are. They model emotional control. So instead of shouting or punishing those children in anger, they pause, they think, and they choose their responses that teach rather than hurt those children. EQ'd parents are empathetic. They seek to understand what their child is feeling before trying to correct the behavior. They connect before they correct, so they won't collect. Excellent listeners. They create safe spaces for their children where they feel heard and valued. And that's what most children want. These parents listen to understand, not just to reply or to lectures. They are emotion coaches. They help the children identify, name, manage the emotions, teaching that feelings are valid, but not all behaviors are acceptable. I am for gentle parenting, but I know that boundaries are real. Gentle parenting is good, but there must be boundaries. You must let them know their feelings are valid, but not all behaviors are acceptable, and there must be consequences. They are intentional communicators. They communicate with respect, clarity, and consistency, and they set healthy boundaries while maintaining warmth and encouragement. Honestly, when my son told me, I created safe space for him. I knew that I had grown, and I'm still growing. Because under normal circumstances, he would not have. It's not sweet to say this thing in English, but I know that there are non-Yoruba speaking people here, so let me hold my peace. They are growth-oriented role models, and they admit mistakes. They apologize when wrong. Many of us find it difficult to apologize to our children because it's not a culturally aligned way. I don't even know that parents, okay, maybe most parents do that now. Apologizing to them doesn't take anything from you, but many people have an ego problem. So EQ parents understand that children learn more from what parents model than from what they say. They catch from you rather than what you teach. So whatever you do, it is caught more than it is taught. So as a parent, EQ is not about being perfect. It's about creating that environment where these children feel safe, seen, supported, and strengthened. And like Maya Angelou said, our children will not always remember every lesson that we teach them, but they will remember how we consistently make them feel. And these emotional experiences shape the adults that they will become. Okay? Now, this is the acronym I want you to take a screenshot of. Intelligent. The I is for intentional. These parents don't parent by default. They parent with purpose, by design. They make conscious choices that shape the children's future. And nurturing. They create that safe space where the children feel loved, they feel valued, they feel heard, and they are emotionally secure. Trustworthy. Their words and actions align. Their words and their actions align. don't say one thing and do the other. They make them dependable and build deep trust with their children. They are empathetic. They seek to understand their children's feelings before correcting their behavior. They listen to understand, not to respond or reply. They are level-headed. They regulate their own emotions. They respond calmly rather than react impulsively during challenging moments. They are inspiring. They model the attitude or the values or the behaviors that they want the children to develop. That's why I said, even though we're talking about raising godly and emotionally intelligent children, it's really about us. It's really about us. Model what you want to see. Grace, they are grace-filled. They discipline with love. They extend grace. They extend forgiveness. They make space and create room for learning from mistakes. Many of us don't want our children to make mistakes. But the truth is we must let them make some mistakes. We must let them learn to grow. We must let them learn to solve their own problems too, depending on the age that they are. Encouraging, they speak life into their children rather than curse. Remember, your words are powerful. Especially as parents, you have authority over them. Spiritual authority over them. So more likely than anybody else, whatever you say will be. They affirm their effort, their growth, their identity, and their potential. And these EQ parents are non-judgmental. They avoid naming and shaming. I mean, our generation faced a lot of shaming, but that's what they knew to do at the time. Labeling or condemning, choosing curiosity and understanding instead. And these parents are teachable. They remain humble. They admit their mistakes. They keep learning and are willing to grow alongside their children. Our children teach us a lot of stuff now. We learn a lot from them. In fact, they are reverse mentors right now at the age that they are. They help us to understand their own generation better. So, EQ'd parents don't strive to be perfect. They strive to be present, to be purposeful, and to grow continually. And their greatest lesson isn't taught through lectures, but through the lives that they consistently model. Now we also have emotionally immature parent qualities. And these are some of them. This doesn't mean they are bad parents. It just means that these are common patterns that can affect the child's development if you don't pay attention. These parents are emotionally reactive. They are easily overwhelmed by their emotions and often respond with anger, criticism, withdrawal, or defensiveness instead of calm reflection. They can be self-centered. Their own needs, their feelings or image often take priority over their children's emotional needs. They may expect the child to accommodate them rather than the other way around. I think that's what's called parentification. Not sure about that. They lack empathy. They struggle to understand or validate their child's feelings, or often dismissing emotions with comments like, "You are too sensitive. Stop crying. I don't know, what have I said now that you're crying? If you don't stop crying, I will give you a reason to cry." If you are in that generation, please type yes in the comment section. Because when the parents beat you in our time, they don't expect you to cry. When you cry, they will say, if you don't stop crying, they will give you a reason to cry. How? Poor boundaries. They may be controlling and intrusive, or the opposite, uninvolved and inconsistent. Healthy emotionally boundaries are often missing. Avoid accountability. They rarely admit their mistakes or apologize sincerely. Instead, they may blame others, make excuses, or deny responsibility. They are inconsistent. Their moods and parenting style are unpredictable. So the children often feel they have to walk on eggshells around them. I know some homes where when their parents are home, they disappear because they don't know what to expect. They are controlling or manipulative. They may use guilt, shame, fear, silent treatment, or emotional blackmail to influence their children instead of healthy communication and mutual respect. Now, these characteristics exist on a spectrum. So most parents will display some of these traits at times, especially when they're under stress. They have good reason to. but it may not be the best way. So emotionally mature parenting isn't about perfection again. It's just about increasing our self-awareness. And that's what this session is about. It's not about judgment. It's about self-awareness. It's about us learning to take responsibility and continually grow alongside our children. Now, this is the acronym for immature parenting: inconsistent, manipulative, missing empathy. They struggle to understand or validate these emotions of the children, avoids accountability, temperamental, they're emotionally reactive, unavailable emotionally. They are rigid, inflexible, controlling, and they are ego-centered. They prioritize their own needs, image, above the rest. So they react while intelligent parents respond. So I have an acronym for EQ. I say emotional intelligence is real, REAL. React rather than respond. So emotionally immature people react, emotionally intelligent people respond. The E, emotionally immature people explode, emotionally intelligent people express themselves. The A, emotionally intelligent people are assertive, emotionally immature people are aggressive. And then the L, emotionally intelligent people, they leverage emotional intelligence tools, while emotionally immature people lose their souls in the process. Now, we know of 7 habits of highly effective people. So again, 10 habits of highly emotionally intelligent parents that I came up with. They regulate themselves before correcting their children. They don't let that anger or frustration dictate their parenting. They pause before they respond. Pausing is a great EQ tool. They validate emotions without excusing poor behavior. Remember, we spoke about gentle parenting. You can validate their emotions, but don't excuse poor behavior. So they communicate. It's okay to feel angry, but it's not okay to hurt somebody when you're angry. They listen to understand, not just to reply. They make the children feel heard before offering any advice or correction. They model the behavior that they want to see. They know children imitate more than they obey, so they demonstrate respect, honesty, kindness, self-control, or any other fruit of the spirit like we saw. They apologize when they are wrong. They understand that saying "I'm sorry" will build trust rather than weaken your authority. It's an ego thing when you think saying sorry weakens your authority. They coach emotions instead of controlling these children. Rather than dismissing or punishing their feelings, they help the children to identify, understand, and manage their emotions. They set clear boundaries with warmth. So I hear it a lot that my children are my friends, and that's awesome. My children are also my friends, but there are boundaries. They know that friendship has a role, parenting has a role. So yes, we are friends, but who will help me translate? The tip of the nose is far from the head. A parent is a parent, a friend is a friend. I will be a friend to you when I need to, and I will step into my parent role when I need to. So we combine love and consistency and balance empathy and accountability. Then they encourage problem solving instead of rescuing to help them build their confidence and their resilience. They praise effort, character, and growth, not just achievement. Celebrate them. Celebrate them when they need to. And the last one, create emotional safety at home. Let your children know that they can express their thoughts, ask questions. You will admit mistakes, or they can also admit their own mistakes and seek help without fear of shame or rejection. Create that safe space for them. Now, culture and parenting. How do we navigate this? Especially in a place like Nigeria or Africa. I know that there's been a lot of condemnation for the way we were raised. How this generation always says, oh, the way you were raised, blah, 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 your parents are this and that. Yeah. But the truth is that there are so many advantages to the way we were raised. We had a strong sense of faith and spirituality. Some of them took it too far into religion. We have a strong sense of respect for our elders and authority, although some fear elders more than respect them. But majority, the whole benefit of culture, community-centered living. Remember, we need to cut our parents some slack and give them their flowers because they did the best they knew to do with the little that they had or they knew. The truth is, there is beauty in African culture and parenting. And raising godly and emotionally intelligent children in Nigeria or African culture is both powerful and complex. Our culture carries this deep strength that can help our children grow into grounded, respectful, spiritual people. But we also know that there are cultural patterns that can unintentionally suppress emotional intelligence, if not harmonized well. African culture was never designed to raise isolated individuals. I grew up in a home, even though we were 5 biological children of my parents. But at any point in time, there were about 25 people in the house, cousins, aunties, everybody. I didn't even know some friends were not relations. That's how we grew up, communal living. But these days, it is my bed, my chair, my table, my cup. We ate from one pot. In fact, some of my cousins took their food before us biological children. I didn't see anything wrong with it. I didn't know there was anything wrong with it, if there was anything wrong with it. So now when people come to my house, I don't feel any house. You usually have people in your house. That's how I grew up. So there's a richness in Nigerian and African parenting that naturally supports godliness and emotional development when done intentionally. Now, there are challenges, like I mentioned. Children should be seen, not heard. Disappear from here. When adults are talking, you shut up. They're expected to stay silent, and so many children have been silent. Their emotions have been suppressed. So the parenting would have been fear-based. But what our children need most is safety, structure, spirituality, what I call thinness, and stability. The impact this has on the family, you would have a more peaceful home. You will have children who learn emotional regulation, empathy, biblical values, and create fewer unnecessary conflicts. You would have stronger family relationships because your children will learn to listen, understand other people's perspectives, and learn to forgive and express love in healthy ways. You would have a culture of honor and respect. Rather than obeying only out of fear, your children will develop an internal conviction to honor God and respect parents and siblings. We would have healthier communication across generations because children who can identify and express emotions respectfully become adults who build healthier marriages, parent more effectively, and maintain stronger relationships with extended family. We would have a lasting family legacy and a kingdom impact that is beyond home. But this is the one I love the most. You would have children who are resilient through life's challenges. They will learn to process disappointment, failure, and hardship with faith, hope, and perseverance. The family becomes more resilient during seasons of difficulty because members support rather than sabotage one another. And when children are raised to be godly and emotionally intelligent, they become spiritually grounded in their faith. They become emotionally secure in their identity, relationally healthy in their interactions, mentally resilient in adversity, and purposely influential in the world. Ultimately, we are not just raising children, we are raising an army. We are raising the future culture of our families. And a child with a heart that is anchored in God and emotions governed by wisdom is far more likely to become an adult who strengthens marriages, nurtures healthy children, serves others well, and leaves a legacy that honors God for generations. I'm so proud of my children, in spite of who they are. Just like we all have faults, they have theirs as well. But I am super proud of them because when I hear feedback, right from when they were in primary school, high school, A-levels, even in London, we used to get feedback, your children are so well, and I'm like, Lord, I'm grateful. Not that they don't stray. Remember, they're not perfect. But at least, like I said, having done all, you can stand that when life throws them curveballs, they are resilient enough to pull through. So I'll close with this poem that started it all, that I saw. Children learn what they live. If children live with criticism, they learn to condemn. If children live with hostility, they learn to fight. If children live with ridicule, they learn to be shy. If children live with shame, they learn to feel guilty. If children live with encouragement, they learn confidence. If children live with tolerance, they learn to be patient. If children live with praise, they learn to appreciate. If children live with acceptance, they learn to love. If children live with approval, they learn to like themselves. If children live with honesty, they learn truthfulness. If children live with security, they learn to have faith in themselves and others. If children live with friendliness, they learn the world is a nice place in which to live. If children live with fear, they learn to be apprehensive. If children live with jealousy, they learn what envy is. If children live with sharing, they learn to be generous. And if children live with security, they learn to have peace of mind. Every terrorist was once a child. Every rapist was once a child. Every bully was once a child. Every narcissist was once a child. Every abuser was once a child. Every icon was once a child. Every hero was once a child. What are your children living with? Now, this is an EQ tool that is so easy that you can use and you can teach your children to use. It's called the Ruler Model by Yale Center for Emotional Intelligence. The R just simply means recognize emotions in yourself and others. Like Angela said, you have to identify the emotion, name it to tame it. Understand the cause and the consequences of the emotion. If I get angry, what made me angry? And if I continue in the anger path, what's the consequence of that emotion? Label the emotion accurately. Express it rather than explode appropriately. And regulate the emotion effectively. That's a simple tool you can use. And this is one that I also formed. Take a chill pill. When you are faced with any circumstance like that, identify the emotion, control the emotion, and express it rather than explode. I've come to the end of my presentation, but I will not leave you without letting you know that you can purchase this EQ manual for children and teenagers by Emotion City. That's by Oyinkansola Alabi. I would rather invest in things like this than wait till a time when it's irredeemable. I would rather prepare them than repair them. There's also this boot camp for emotional intelligence coming up. I've attended at least one of these for children. I've attended at least 4 EQ courses for adults. So it's an investment worth doing. So I want us to be intentional. Take a screenshot of this. You don't have to answer here. What action are you going to take? Are you going to understand your child's emotion before correcting their behavior? Are you going to teach your child how to express their emotions in healthy ways? Are you going to improve your communication and conflict resolution with your family? Are you going to help your child build stronger confidence and self-esteem? Are you going to help that child better manage anger, frustration, and disappointment? Are you going to teach them resilience, patience, and perseverance through life's challenges? Are you going to enroll them in any emotional intelligence bootcamp just to learn the skills from experts? And will you enroll yourself also in EQ courses to improve your EQ? Remember, they learn from you. And life is a gym. You must build your EQ muscle in the gym of life. Because life will set exam questions that you will have to answer. And it will serve you your report card through your children, most likely. Pressure, they say, reveals content. Until you are faced with the situation, you don't know whether you are emotionally intelligent or not. You don't know whether you are godly or not. So EQ is your GPS guiding us. as we live out our values and intentions. And it's all about awareness, beliefs, consistency, and discipline that will give us self-mastery. Thank you so much for listening. Apologies for the hitches, but I believe that you got something out of it. Thank you.